Hello everyone, thank you for taking your time and coming to check on this video. Please make sure guys that you subscribe, you like, you share the video and comment, bring on suggestions, criticize if you have to. Please guys. Today I'm focusing on linear functions or sometimes a straight line graph. For grade 9, 8, 9 and 10, you'll be asked several times to find the equation of a straight line. And then grade 11 and 12, they will ask you in a form of maybe calculating finding the equation of a tangent or the axis of symmetry of a hyperbola. Okay, today let's just focus on a linear function. Linear or uniform function. Let me just okay. Please note that guys, a linear function should be always in this form. Are you together? Whereby the value of m is your gradient and the value of c is a y-intercept. Hey, my English. The value of c is a y-intercept. Are you together? So by just knowing the value of the gradient and the value of c, I can draw my straight line graph. Are we together? Okay. How so? If I know the sign of the gradient, I will know the shape of my graph. Are we together? If my gradient is greater than 0, in simple terms positive, I'll have a straight line graph which is an increasing function. Are we together? If my gradient is equal to 0, I'll have a flat line or a horizontal line like this. And if my gradient is negative, I'll have a graph looking like this, where m is less than 0. Simple term, the gradient is negative. At some point I can have there are vertical lines whenever x is equal to c, where c represents any real number. My graph will look like this. It's a vertical line. For this graph, it simply means that we have our gradient is undefined. Are you together? Okay. So if I know the gradient and the y-intercept, I can easily draw the graph. Okay, the y-intercept is where your graph cuts the y-axis of your Cartesian plane. If you have y is equal to 2x plus 3, this here represent my y in axis, x-axis and 0. This is the Cartesian plane. 3 is somewhere here. Are you together? And since my gradient is positive, my graph will just look like this, since the gradient is positive. Are you together? And then my duty is to just find the x-intercept. So if I have a graph of minus x plus 2, it's simple. I know that I have y-axis and x-axis there, 0. 2 is somewhere here. My gradient is negative, so my graph is supposed to look like this. Are you together, guys? If ever I have a graph of y is equal to negative 5, just need to draw my Cartesian plane again. Negative 5 is somewhere there at the bottom, and then my graph should look like this, should be a horizontal line. You will use a ruler to draw this. Are you together? So if you guys know, if you know the sign of your gradient and the y-intercept, you can easily draw your graph. Are we together? So please, we can pause the video and we can do these examples on your own. X minus 1, number 2, y is equal to negative 3x minus 6, number 3, y is equal to 2x plus 7, fourth one, y is equal to 16, and then number 5, x is equal to negative 2. Okay, for the first graph, I know that I must always draw my Cartesian plane, my y and x axis. For this guy, number 1, I know that my y-intercept is negative 1, but the coefficient of x, the number in front of x, is positive 1. So my graph will be an increasing function that passes at negative 1. So it will be like this. My duty is to just find the x-intercept. Are you together? Then for the second graph, let me use red ink. Y 0 and x-axis. Okay, I have a negative gradient and a negative y-intercept. My graph will be decreasing, so it will go like this. Are you together? How do I know that my graph is increasing or decreasing? I just scan it moving from the left rather to the right hand side, and check whether is my graph going up or down. If my graph is going up from left moving to the right, then my graph is increasing. But if my graph is going down from left moving to the right, therefore I can conclude that my graph is decreasing. Are we together? So I know that for this guy, my y-intercept is negative 6. I just need to find the x-intercept there. Are we together? And then for the third one, x, y, not 0 lana. My x value is positive 7, and my gradient is a positive 2, so my graph will be increasing. It will go like this, passing at 7. And then the last two graphs, y 0, x-axis. For this one, if it doesn't have the mx, if my graph does not have this part, the mx part, are you together? It simply means the gradient of that graph is 0. So I will have, let me draw it in black. I will have it like this, and it will pass here when y is equal to 16. It's a flat line. Are you together? And then for the second one, y 0, x-axis, x is negative 2. Here my gradient is undefined, so I'll just have a vertical line passing at x is equal to negative 2, like this. Are we together? So if I have the equation of the graph, I can easily draw the graph. Now let's learn how to find the equation of a graph. Let's learn how to find the equation. Finding the equation of the graph. There are only two things we need. To find the equation of a graph. Are you together? One of them is just the gradient, the steepness of our graph. Gradient and any point on the graph. Are you together? So the gradient I'll indicate with its symbol, which is a small letter m, and the point can be x1 and y1. Are you together? So once I have these two things, I can substitute them in this equation. I can substitute them in this equation, or in this equation. It's up to me. Are you together? So now I want to teach you how to find the gradient. The gradient. Okay. If you have 2 points on the line, on that line, you can find the gradient by just saying, if you have 2 points and those points are A and B, okay, doesn't matter, man. You can find the gradient by saying y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is how you find the gradient of your line, the steepness of your line. How steep is your line? This equation determines that. Are you together? This is option 1. If you have two points on the line, you can use those 2 points to find the gradient. How so? Let's say we have A, which is 2 and 3, and then B, 2 and 3. B is -1 and -4. Yeah, -1 and -4. I'm asked to find the gradient of AB. I'll therefore say, let me write it in red. Therefore, the gradient of line AB is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. If these ones and twos if they confuse you, just make it simple for yourself. You can just say the y value at point B minus the y value at point A all over the x value at point B minus the x value at point A. Are you together? So the y value at point B is -4. The y value at point A is equal to 3. The x value at point B is -1, and the x value at point A is +2. So I will have -7 over -3, which is equal to 7 over 3. Are you together? So now I have my gradient. I can find the point. I can find the equation. I can use either one of the 2 points. How so? Y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. Are you together? Or you can just substitute here. Y is equal to mx plus c. I'll show you both ways. You will choose your own poison. I prefer working with positive points because I will make less mistakes whenever I do so. Are you together? So y, the y value there is 3. I know. I just found the gradient to be 7 over 3, and the x value is 2. So y minus 3 is equal to 7 over 3 multiplied by 14 over 2, because I'll say 7 over 3 minus x, I will get 7 over 3x. Then 7 over 3 minus 2, I'll get -14 over 2. And then I will have y is equal to 7 over 3x minus 14 over 2 plus 3. Y is equal to 7 over 3x. This will give me, why did I say 14 over 2 there? It's 14 over 3. Askis. It's 14 over 3. So I'll get my equation like this. Together, even if I use this one, I was just going to say y is equal to, the gradient is 7 over 3. I just calculated the gradient. All I need is the value of c. For me to find c, I must just substitute any point on the line. I have a and I have b. I like working with positive things, so y is 3 on point A and x is 2. Are you together? So c is equal to 3 minus 14 over 3. C is equal to negative 5 over 3. Therefore, y is equal to 7 over 3x. Now I know the value of c. I'll just write negative 5 over 3. Are you together? So whenever you have 2 points, this is how you find the gradient. And when you have the gradient, you can easily find the equation of the line. Let me give you an example, or an example that will do. Please pause the video and try this example. Find the equation find the equation that passes through point A, which is 2 and 4, and then B, we'll say B is negative 4 and 8. Pause the video and then find the equation. Oh, and by the way, there at the top, since I have the equation, I can easily draw the graph. I know that my gradient is positive and my y-intercept is negative 5 over 3. So my graph will just look like this. Just need to find the x-intercept there. Okay, so here, okay, let's work. The first thing I need to do is to find the gradient, because I don't have gradient. Ne? The gradient of line AB, I'll get it by saying y value at B minus the y value at A, x value at B minus the x value at A. What will I get? I'll get 8 minus 4 all over negative 4 minus 2. What is 8 minus 4? 8 minus 4 is 4 all over negative 6. This thing is equal to negative 2 over 3. Now I do have my gradient. I can simply find the equation of my line. Let me use green. I can say y is equal to mx plus c. Are we together? I know that the value of my gradient is 2 over 3. All I need to do is to find the value of c. I prefer working with positive terms, so I'll use point A. Point A, the y value is 4. And the x value is 2. Are you together? So I know that I will have 4 this side, negative 4 over 3 plus 2, and then c will be equal to 4 plus 4 over 3. 4 plus 4 over 3 is equal to 16 over 3. Therefore, my equation is negative 2 over 3x plus 16. Are you together? If you chose to use the one that I like, y minus y1 y1 is 4, the gradient is negative 2 over 3x minus 2. Okay, so y minus 4, please remember that I use point A, hence I have a 4 into 2 there. Are you together? When these two multiply, I'll get negative 2 over 3x plus 4 over 3. Negative 2 over 3 multiplied by negative 2, I'll get a positive 4 over 3. Then I just need to take the 4 to the other side. I'll have y is equal to negative 2 over 3x plus 4 over 3 plus 4. This thing will just give me negative 2 over 3x plus 16 over 3. Now I know my equation. I can simply draw the graph. My gradient is negative. I know that my graph has to be a decreasing function that passes through 16 over 3. So my graph has to look like this. All I need to do is to calculate the x value. Are you together? So if I have 2 points, this is how I calculate this is how I find the gradient and later find the equation of the graph. When I have the equation, I can simply draw. And then sometimes you don't have option number 2 of a different way of finding a gradient. Sometimes you don't have 2 points. Are you together? Sometimes the equation could be like, okay, if line AB, excuse me, is parallel to line CD, are you together? And the coordinates of A are 2 and 3. The coordinates of A are 2 and 3. And I'm told that CD, the gradient of CD is equal to negative 1. Maybe the question will be like, find the equation of a line passing through AB. Okay, please note guys, if 2 lines are parallel, that means they have the same gradient. If I know the gradient of CD, that means that gradient will be the same as the gradient of AB. Are you together? So for me to find the equation of line AB, I need the gradient of AB and 1 point which is on line AB. Are you together? So for the solution, I'll therefore say the gradient of line AB is the same as that of line CD, which is negative 1. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because I'm told that AB is parallel to CD. Are you together? So now I do have the gradient is negative 1 and the point is 2 and 3. I can just find the equation of the line. Y minus y1. Guys, I'm going to bully you. I like this one. Please use it as well. Okay, our y1 is 3 this time. Our gradient is negative 1. Our x1 is 2. This is y1 and x1. So all I need to do is to just isolate y. Y minus 3 is negative x plus 2. Then y is equal to negative x. When the negative 3 goes to the other side, I'll have 2 plus 3, which is 5. So this is how I find my equation. Now guys, when I have my equation, I don't have to think. I know my y-intercept is here, positive 5. My graph is decreasing. It has to go like this, passing at positive 5. Then my duty is to find the y-intercept. Are we together? And then option number 3, you can be told that lines are perpendicular. Please note that initially we said whenever you have 2 points, the way of finding the gradient is just that equation is called the average gradient. Now use the average gradient. Option number 2, if 2 lines are parallel to one another, it simply means the gradient of the first line is equal to the gradient of the second line. Are you together? Then now we're going to option number 3. Option number 3 simply says that if you have line AB which is perpendicular to line CD, are you together? And A is equal to negative 1. The coordinates of A are negative 1 and 2. The gradient of CD is 2 over 3. The question says find the equation of line AB. Okay, I cannot find the gradient of AB because I only have 1 point. Are we together? But there is information that I have that AB and CD are perpendicular. Please note that if ever you have 2 lines that are perpendicular, you can conclude that if you have what's this, AB perpendicular to CD, it simply means that the product of their gradients is negative 1. Are you together? This thing is true because AB is perpendicular to CD. Are you together? So whenever you have gradients which are perpendicular, guys, lines which are perpendicular, right, it's easy for you to find the gradient of the other line. You just need to flip the gradient that you have and then change the sign. I know that since MCD is equal to 2 over 3, therefore MAB excuse me, will be negative 3 over 2. Just flip it around and then change the sign. CD was positive, now AB is negative. Are you together? And I just flipped it around. If MCD was equal to 2, that means MAB was going to be what? 1 over 2 with a negative sign. Because if I have a number like this, if I have 2 like this, 2 it has a denominator of 1, which I don't have to write. So whenever I flip it around, that means 1 should be at the top and 2 should be at the bottom with the change in sign. Are you together? So you just flip it around, change the sign. Flip it around, change the sign. Are you together? But if you're not comfortable with that, it's fine. You got nothing to lose. You can just put it here. AB multiplied by the gradient is negative 1. The gradient of CD is equal to 2 over 3. It was given to us. Are you together? We want to find the gradient of AB. So we must just divide by 2 over 3 both sides, such that this will cancel this, and then therefore the gradient of AB will be equal to If you punch this entire thing on the calculator, you'll get negative 3 over 2. So now I have a gradient, and the point was given. It was negative 1 and 2. I can just find the equation of my line. Y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. So y is 2, the gradient is negative 3 over 2, x, the x value is negative 1. So I'll have y minus 2, I'll have a negative 3 over 2 x plus 1, and then I'll have y minus 2 I'll have 3 over 2 there. 3 over 2 times x is 3 over 2x minus 3 over 2. Then when I bring the 2 to the other side, I'll have negative 3 over 2x minus 3 over 2 plus 2. Minus 3 over 2x, I'll have a positive half. This is my equation. Once I see my equation and I can see the gradient is there and the y-intercept, I just sketch, y 0 x-axis, I have a positive y-intercept and my gradient is negative. I simply have a decreasing function that passes through 1 over 2. All I need to do is to find the y-intercept. Are you together? So when lines are perpendicular, just check the gradient of the other line, flip it around, change the sign to find the gradient of the second line. Sometimes you have the angle of inclination. Okay, by definition, the angle of inclination is the space between the positive axis, the x-axis to be specific, and the right hand side of your line. Are you together? The angle of inclination, the positive axis, and the right hand side of your line. Are you together? You can only find the angle of inclination on the first and second quadrant. Angle of inclination is a number between 0 and 180. Are you together? So it's simple. For you to find the gradient, m is equal to tan theta. You will be given theta, guys, don't worry. You will be given theta. If we have 45 degrees, and then we have a point here, minus 3 and negative 8. Okay, it doesn't matter. Minus 3 and negative 8. It's simple. Just find the gradient. You have a point. You can use it to find the equation of the line. My gradient, I'll just say m tan theta. Just punch tan 45 on your calculator, you'll get 1. That means your gradient is 1. Are you together? So therefore I have a gradient and a point. I can use it to find my equation. I have negative 8. M is 1. X is negative 3, right? So I know that I have y plus 8 here, and then I have 1 x plus 3. Actually, I don't have to write the 1. Anything multiplied by 1 is that thing. So I simply have x plus 3. So I'll have x minus 5, because when I take 8 to the other side, it will be negative. Then I'll have 3 minus 8, which is negative 5. This is my equation. Are you together? Please note that I've taken these things from my head. I'm just making you apply the knowledge. Are you together? Sometimes the graph that I've drawn will not be accurate, But just take this thing, put it here, you'll get the gradient. After finding the gradient, you'll get your equation. Ungathuswa ukuthi my y-intercept is negative, but here it cuts on the positive. Don't worry about that. This is not an accurate question. Okay, so after finding now you know how to find the equation, guys. So now let's learn how to calculate things on our graph. Firstly, okay, let's say you are supposed to draw the graph. There are steps of drawing a graph. Yeah, I think by just showing you steps of drawing a graph, I can show you anything that you need to know. Step number 1, you must establish your shape. The shape of your linear function. Are you together? And for you to establish your shape, in simple terms, we are just saying to you, check the sign of m, which is the gradient. Are you together? After doing so, step number 2, find the y-intercept. I don't care what graph, what kind of a function you are dealing with, but whenever you find the y-intercept, always make y 0, solve for x. Are you together? And then thirdly, find your x-intercept. Find your x-intercept. I don't care what kind of a graph you're dealing with. Whenever you find your x-intercept, you must always make y 0, then you solve for x. I made a mistake there. On the y-intercept, you must always make x 0, solve for y. Are you together? And then lastly, you must check your restrictions. Lastly, in our case, dealing with a straight line graph is simple because you don't have restrictions. So please note that always the time whenever they ask you about the domain of a linear function and the range of the linear function, please note that these two things apply on the linear function. The domain of a linear function, you just answer x is an element of real numbers. The range of the linear function, you'll just answer y is an element of real numbers. Because there are no restrictions, x can be any real number and y can be any real number. Are you together? Okay, I just want us to apply these steps. Let's say we are supposed to draw the graph of y is equal to 2x minus 8. I know, guys, it will look like this. I know. Not like that, rather. I know it will look like this because my y-intercept is negative 8. But okay, there are steps on it. Step number 1, establish your shape. Your shape m, you'll simply write m is equal to 2, and 2 is a number which is greater than 0. It simply means that your graph will look like this. Are you together? And then number 2, y-intercept. I don't care what kind of a graph it is, make x 0, solve for y. I have y is equal to 2x minus 8. Y is equal to 2 minus 8. I said make x 0, solve for y. So y is equal to negative 8. Here is it here, negative 8. Step number 3, find your x-intercept. I don't care what kind of a graph you are dealing with, but always make y 0, solve for x. How so? Y is equal to 2x minus 8, right? If I make y to be 0, for me to solve x, I just need to take the 2x to the other side. I'll have negative 2x is equal to negative 8. Divide both sides by negative 2. Then x is a positive 4, right? That means this guy here is 4. And always, guys, label your x's. So after finding the x-intercept and the y-intercept, you can draw your graph. And our graph will look like this. Easy, ne? Number 2, please pause the video, do this on your own. If AB is parallel to line DE and the gradient of line DE, is negative 2. Point B is equal to, let's say, negative 5, positive 3. Yeah, why not? The question, find the equation of a line passing through A and B, and then draw it. The examiner will ask you guys in a beautiful English. My English is crooked. Okay, please pause the video for 2 minutes and then do it on your own. Come back when you are done, but I'll continue. I'm given the gradient of DE. I know that let me write the solution in black. I know that the gradient of AB should be equal to the gradient of DE, which is negative 2. And why is that? I did say that if you have parallel lines, that means they have the same gradient. Are we together? So now I know that I have the gradient. My gradient is negative 2. I just need to find the equation, then draw my graph. Y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. The point here, we are given the point of B, right? The point of B is negative 5 and 3. Okay, so y1 is 3. I have negative 2x and the minus 5 there. Y minus 3 is negative 2x plus 5. Then y minus 3 is negative 2x minus 10. Y is equal to negative 2x minus 7. So I know that I will have a graph. Which will look like this. Pass here at negative 7 and here at negative 7 over 2. But let's prove that. I have y 0 x-axis. There are steps of drawing the graph. Né? I do know that this is my equation. This is my equation. Né? Firstly, I must establish my shape. The gradient is equal to -2. -2 is a number which is less than 0, so my graph will look like this. Alright, together, I must find my y-intercept. For my y-intercept, always the time I must make x 0, solve for y. Therefore, y is equal to -2x minus 7. Y is -2 times 0 minus 7. I'll have a -7 as my y-intercept, as it is here. Alright, together. And then for my x-intercept, I don't care what graph or what function am I dealing with. Always make y 0, solve for x. Y is equal to -2x minus 7. This thing is 0. 2x minus 7. So I'll bring the 2x to the other side. It will be positive minus 7. Therefore x is 7 or -7 over 2, as it is there. So this is how you deal with a linear function, guys. I hope you are seeing that, guys. The equation, this thing here, it's a tit for tat kind of a thing. If I want the y-intercept, I must give the equation the value of x. If I give it x, it will give me y. If I give it y, it will give me x. Are you together? Please note that. So this is how we deal with linear functions, guys. I hope you understand. Subscribe, stay tuned, and wait for more.